So you joined me Friday afternoon at the NEC, obviously the Worley exhibition, and I've found Richard of Everard Junction.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Very good.
Nice to find you.
Yeah.
How are you finding the show?
I'm finding it really good, yeah, really impressive. I mean, I've been coming to the show now for probably about 10 years, off and on. And I still remember the days where the stands were really close together, and it was difficult to get around, and you wanted to see the layout, and there was like a wall of people that you just couldn't get through. I mean, these days it's just so much better planned, and you really get the time to actually walk around and appreciate the show for what it is.
There's still a wall of people.
There's still a lot of people.
Still
I mean,
look
at it. It's mad how many people are here.
Absolutely nuts behind us.
Yeah, I mean, it's really humbling to know that that there's so many people still into the hobby.
Yep.
It's so often associated with being something that's so on your own, in your attic, and no one knows about it. This is my special little thing, and clearly it isn't. Yeah, it's really impressive. And then obviously my main excitement for coming here is just frothing over all the stuff behind the glass, especially you've got the Bachmann 117 and anything basically made after about 1970 is just, can I take it home?
Scarily, they'd probably give it you, to be fair, for your channel.
I should try that. I wonder if I can get into the Bachmann Collectors Club.
Everyone else does. They wouldn't let me in there.
They wouldn't let you in?
I had real problems getting in there.
Oh, I'll take you with me, we'll sort it out.
There you go. Yeah. It's not what you know.
Yeah, it's who you know.
Have you seen any layouts which have stood out to you so far today?
To be honest, I've only seen
I know you've been mobbed.
Because I've been mobbed.
You've been absolutely mobbed today.
Literally, I walked in and I was like, I need to go and meet New Junction, and I didn't get very far. So, main one for me that I want to go and see is Loftus Road.
Yeah.
That is just, it's so good.
Loftus Road.
It's one of my favourites.
It's not here.
Oh.
I made that mistake.
I thought Loftus Road was here.
No.
Is it the other one?
New Bryford is it?
Oh, it's New Bryford, isn't it? Because they're so similar.
I did exactly the same yesterday, and I got... Oh. You wouldn't get any trouble for it because of who you are.
People would just
I just don't even know what you're doing. No, so I made that mistake. So, yeah, we're both leaving disappointed. Just fun. But I've got real canopy envy of Liverpool Station.
Yes.
I was hoping they wouldn't be here because they showed me up with my attempt at a canopy.
Yes, of course, because your videos with your canopy and stuff. Yeah.
Milking that.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing like pictures of it on our own web when it first started going up, and it was just like, you're building that, and it was just, and it's completely to scale, and every little piece has been replicated in detail, and it's like, even I would have cut some corners, but no, absolutely amazing.
I wish I had the time. I wish I had the skill.
Well, again, the time. Again,
it's been too complimentary.
It's another issue is getting the time to actually do the hobby. I mean, you come home from work in the evening, and it's like, I could sit here and I could watch the telly and relax, or I could go upstairs and get the camera out and crack on and start filming. And sometimes it is quite a commitment to actually produce content. You know, people think that you just upload a video and stuff happens, but it's not. I mean, you know, if I do a major video where I'm doing a big build, I mean, let's take that large carriage shed that I built a couple of years ago. Even
that looked painful to me.
Yeah, that was an exercise in what the limits of scratch building and sort of not making something that's so repetitive. But it's like hours and hours in just editing it all together. Yeah, it's really quite an undertaking. And you get the people that say, "When's the next video?" And it's like, I'm really trying, but you can't always.
You've got to work for a living.
You can't always repeat it. And exactly, I have a job. You know, I have a life outside of the attic. Although some people would like me to stay up there.
I wish you would.
Well, sometimes I wish I could as well. But
I mean, one question I've always sort of wondered: I suppose a channel like yours. Do you ever understand the sort of magnitude of your fan base? Obviously, you've got a lot of subscribers.
Yes.
But I suppose, when you have a channel like yours, you really get into people's lives.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I've tried to work it out for a long old time. I mean, the YouTube algorithm, I don't think anybody will fully understand how it actually works and how it recommends videos and stuff. But if I look at my videos, the ones that seem to just get really positive comments and lots of views and stuff is the modelling. Yeah. It's the actual modelling. If I go to a preserved railway, the real skill. Yeah. If I go to say a heritage railway, or I cover an exhibition, or I do a review of an upcoming product or something like that, then it will get views, especially from those that are serious railway models. But the general guys that seem to be where a bulk of the views are coming from, they're just interested in the build. Yeah. All they want to see is the layout, the build, the time lapses, the construction. So if there was any secret to what I've done, if there is a secret to it, it's this sitting down in front of the camera and actually modelling it, and not just going, here's what I've done and this is how I did it.
Guilty.
We all do that, because it takes so long to film. But if you've got the time, it's to actually go, right, this is what I want to do. These are the shots I want to get, and actually film it step by step.
Yeah.
And you'll get, the viewer will get a much better understanding for what it is that you're actually creating. They get in a sense of achievement because they feel they've come on a journey with you during the build of whatever it might be. And that seems to get really positive. So I mean, my most popular video, the last time I checked it, I think it was over 800,000. And it's just called track laying.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I poured through the stats and I was looking at the tags and everything, and I was like, what made this video go viral in a way? And I still don't know. But the only thing I can put my finger on is the modelling.
Everard Junction. Just click on it.
Just click on it. I was. What was
you
it?
can film paint drying. I think people would watch it.
Actually, I should try that. It would make my life
That
a
would
lot
be hilarious.
easier. I just go, here is some rail match sleeper grime going off.
Can you imagine the issues if you pick the wrong colour?
Do a live stream of some paint drying.
Don't tempt me.
But yeah, no, it seems to be, if there is any secret to being successful on YouTube with railways, it's physically showing people not just what you did, but how you got there, how you achieved it. And that's all I can give you really. Other than that, I don't know, maybe it was blind luck. Maybe it was just the right time. It's a lot harder these days to be successful on YouTube because of the competition. There's so many of us.
Yeah. Trend-setting, quite literally.
I started in 2010. There was myself, you had Dave at Dean Park Station who just got started, and you had other layouts like Everard Junction was another major inspiration, Terry at Glebe Road.
Channel,
that was an excellent layout. And he was a really good advert for how railway modelling should be, because it was, I built this, and you could look at it and you would go,
it's a question whether it was real.
A couple of rough edges here and there, but that's really good. And then a week later, he trashed it and he did it all over again. And it was even better.
Yeah.
And the comments were people saying, oh, why did you take that apart? I would have left it as it is, but he kept pushing himself, and it was a really good advert for the hobby, effectively.
It was a stunning layout.
And it was a stunning layout, absolutely.
Very inspirational.
He started off, obviously, in his shed at the bottom of the garden, and then slowly moved into the attic of the house. And it was great, because anything that went wrong or anything that he learned, he just showed you. And I really enjoyed his videos. It was a shame that there are no videos anymore, unfortunately, but circumstances change in people's lives and these things happen. But yeah, so getting back to the point, I started around then in 2010. It was a lot easier to be successful. And that wasn't just model railways, that was the outdoors, cars, fishing, sporting events, gaming, whatever it might be.
But you wish you had a channel in every avenue now.
Yeah, well then I wouldn't need a job.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I would have several jobs, but you get people who say, oh, why don't you just do it full time? And it's like, that's not how it works. I would need to be so successful to sustain my lifestyle, or having a house. Like, I can just about, people say, oh, you must make loads of money, and it's like, no, you don't. I might be able to buy an odd bit of rolling stock here and there. That's about it. It extends to paying for a few things for the layout, but supporting a mortgage, owning a car, raising a family, no way.
So expensive things, aren't they?
It's an expensive hobby, very expensive. I bought a rake of 6 Mark IIFs last night, and anyone who's seen those will know how much that might cost, But I've had 5 years to save up to them, but it's still a lot of money.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. No, if there's any secret, it's just the physically modelling in front of the camera and showing people what they're doing. But ultimately, I would say, do what you're comfortable doing. Film what you want to do. It's your layout. Rule 1 applies for what you're running on the layout, but it also applies to what you film. Don't feel that you have to, oh, Everard Junction did a video like this, I must try and copy that, even if that's not your style.
Guilty.
Because just do what you're comfortable with. Make your own videos. At the end of the day, it's not about, look how many views I've got or look how much money I've made. It's about having fun in the hobby.
It's remembering it is a hobby.
It's a hobby.
It's a luxury
about
hobby.
Fun. I mean, I know a lot of my videos come across as very serious, but
you're a very serious person.
I try to be to an extent, but there are a lot of very serious people in the hobby. But it is a hobby, and we should be having fun. So different things suit different modelers. Some like to run whatever they like. Others want to have realistic formations, weathering, realistic setting, and run as close as possible to real life. But that's not for everybody. So it's about having fun. So film, if you want to get into YouTubing and filming, it's to film what you're into. Film what you want. Don't feel, oh, he was successful, so I'll try and do that.
I suppose a prime example of that is obviously Sam's Trains, who's somewhere here. His loft layout is literally on the floor, on the carpet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So you don't need...
Another classic example is Intercity 82. He has some track in a conservatory.
He doesn't have any track anymore.
Not
I
anymore.
think.
I'm not sure if some of it returned.
Oh, did it?
Some of it
Did it?
return? He did a couple of videos not too long ago. I can't remember if some of it's returned. There was an Engage video, so not exactly sure. But he was the #1 model railway man on YouTube, still is.
Yeah.
It's a circle of track in a conservatory. It's just.
Why did I bother with my layout?
Yeah, do what you want, exactly. Oh, you're a slave away building this massive carriage shed, and then he goes and films something running around his conservatory, and it skyrockets. But that's not what it's about. There shouldn't be any competition, I want to be as popular as this person or that person. At the end of the day, it's about having fun and building your layout. And if you can take some people on the journey, then brilliant.
That's it.
You know.
I was going to say, in terms of, I suppose, popularity in your going to your channel, obviously we've just been to the Network YouTube Wally meetup, and obviously swathes of people.
Yeah, loads of people.
Coming to mob, and new people, young people.
Yeah, all sorts of people.
What I find odd is people obviously know me and my channel, but my channel only started because of your channel, which is really weird.
It's a strange feeling, isn't it?
So, try not to be too fanish, but I just think it's incredible the power of something like YouTube as a tool.
It is extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. I mean, again, where else can you watch content on model railways like that? Obviously you've got stuff like the Great Model Railway Challenge on Channel 5, which was fantastic, but it is a TV programme, it has a schedule, you either need to record it, catch up, or make yourself available to see it. But with YouTube, it's just there. You can watch how to do some ballasting on the train into London, or whatever. So it's very powerful, and I think that shows with the success of YouTube with all the other hobbies that are out there. It's not just model railways, it's a platform that can bring what everyone's getting up to closer to home. Everyone's got access to it.
Do you feel that more companies are jumping on board with the social media aspect? Obviously, we were at Hatton's.
Yeah, of course.
The other week.
No, I would say so, definitely. No, the manufacturers are really starting to take it quite seriously. I mean, anybody who's anybody here now has got a YouTube channel. You know, I was going through the Hatton's YouTube videos, like the other night, and they got all their videos, and Bachmann do their video, Hornby's got their videos. As soon as there's an engineering sample of something, liveries, straight up on YouTube, and then you've got people watching it, getting all excited about the new releases, and it's great. It really is.
The attitude definitely seemed to have made a shift in the last, I could say 6 months.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would say. I mean, the amount of just model railway YouTubers in the last year has exploded. I mean, you say your channel has only been going for about a year.
2 years now.
2 years, So
we're getting older.
Yeah, you're gonna have to call it Old Junction.
Yeah, Old New Junction.
Old New Junction. If you ever did Steam, would you call it Old Junction?
Oddly, I've got a heritage station which still is unnamed because of that dilemma.
Because of that dilemma.
Yeah. What do you call it? Old Junction.
You call it New Old Junction? Or?
Technically, the old one should be New Junction.
Well, technically, because it's newer.
Yeah.
That station is yet unnamed, so it hasn't opened yet. So it's newer.
That's a very deep conversation.
We could go for hours.
We could do competitions and all sorts on that.
Absolutely.
I won't get it up. We could polls.
Get
that on RM Web.
Yes, get that on RM Web. There, you get some discussion.
Real issues.
Yes, that's where the real issues are.
You'd probably get, is it even a junction at all?
Yeah, go, you've got a heritage line, and that main line's far too busy, so there wouldn't be a heritage line near it. And it'd be like, well, it's my layout, I do what I like. Thank you very much.
I think if I tackled every query or question I had, my layout would probably be the size of the city I live in.
Oh yeah. But, one query I got that always makes me laugh was, it was in the early stages of Everard Junction 2, as it seems to be known as now, and it was, you should build a power station. And I sat there and I thought, a power station in 1/76 scale, the cooling towers are about the height of a chair. You need enough sidings to do a complete run round of a full rake of MGR. No, it doesn't fit. But you get all kinds of queries. You should do this, you should do that, and you can't please everybody. And that goes
good
back
luck digging the garden up for that one.
Yeah, I would have to dig the garden. I'd have to just put a roof on the garden and just build that. That's a great idea.
You could have a layout in your modelled cooling tower.
If I got Hattons to clear out their warehouse, I could do it in there. I don't know if you saw it when you were there. There was a whole pallet of flexi-track, and I just saw it and I was like, wow. Let's stop all this. Let's just open the boxes and just build a layout.
It was almost painful going through their warehouse because it takes you so long to get these things. Then you just see it so readily
it's just
available.
all there, just to hand. I loved the Chaos storage.
Yeah.
So obviously they know where everything is because it's all on barcodes. But to the average punter on the street, it looks like chaos. Well, I guess that's why they call it what it is. And you're walking along and it's like, oh, here's a Wren A4 Pacific still in its original box, and then underneath it is like a Bachmann 70, a Bachmann 66. And then there's like some like racing coaches, and it's like they don't go together, and there's just all sorts of stuff.
It's such a rivet counter.
Yeah. Guilty as charged.
Absolutely.
Yes, I take it far too seriously. As you may have noticed in some of the crazy things that I might have done on the
How
videos.
serious do you take it with your channel? Is your layout, I should say?
The layout I take very seriously. Do
you want it to be?
Yeah, I really try and stick myself to that era. I have deviated, obviously. The Rapido train's APTE.
Yep.
My Class 60 is arguably out of era, and there were one or two things that are regionally questionable. They perhaps operated elsewhere. I try and keep, but there has to be a point where you stop, because it's like, wait a second, this isn't fun anymore. I'm not buying that because of this tiny little detail. So some things slip through. But
I'm glad you said that. I've got a list of errors I was going to point out. You know?
yeah. Where is it? I'll need to take it home and rectify them all. But it's. I do take it very seriously. And again, I think that comes across a little bit in the videos. But although I may sound like the most serious man you've ever watched a video about a railway on, I do have a lot of fun. And for me, the fun is in creating that realistic place that where you can squint and go, that could be a grainy shot that someone shot on VHS outside Reading in 1989 on a Tuesday. That's what I'm trying to go for, that sort of mundane, everyday appearance that the railways had during that time. And that's what I enjoy. But for different people, it's different things. So you've got people running whatever they like, and that's absolutely fine.
I was going to say, I start off with that attitude, and then just think, just play with trains.
Exactly. Yeah, you start, I'm going to be really serious, and then you go, no, let's get the HST and the Javelin, and let's get a Duchess out and A4 Pacific, and we'll just run the lot.
What's wrong with that?
I haven't got any of these coaches, so I'll run this, and that's nothing wrong with that. And I look at it and I go, oh, they're on coaches and everything, but I still watch it. It's still enjoyable. You know, I don't take it that seriously. But yeah, off camera, I would say, I'm probably quite serious with the layout, and I put a lot of thought into it. I'll be at work just thinking,
what can you do next?
What can I do next? Oh, I'm trying to portray this, and then I'll think about how I might achieve it. And it can be months in the thinking before something actually goes out on YouTube or I build it. I mean, the layout. You've got
to save up for it to a start.
Yeah, you've got to save up for it for a start, absolutely. But you've also got, the layout as it is at the moment.
Yeah.
It was 6 months, if not more, before track was actually down and trains went round. That was partially because I was quite busy, but also I let the idea sit in my head and refine it and tweak it and make any changes that I want to do and really take the time to think about it.
Yeah.
I've seen too many people where they'll nail all the track down and it works, and there's the odd derailment, that'll be all right, and then they just ballast it, and then that's it. And then
see my videos.
And then I've watched them all. But it's interesting how different people take different things to the hobby. Some people are really casual about it, other people are very serious. I'd place myself in the serious camp, but I still like to have fun.
So slight continuity error there.
Yep.
Nothing went wrong at all.
Nothing happened at all.
Hopefully we've not moved.
It's not the following day.
So, quick question for you.
Yep.
Who motivates you?
Who motivates me?
As a modeller,
Okay. Well, most of my motivation came from when I first started, because that was when I really would just pour over stuff for hours and hours. This will be a good test for some people actually, going way back before YouTube YouTube I think had just started, but there was a layout called Everard Junction, run by a chap called Simon, I think his name was, and there was also another layout called Stroley Central, which became Stroley International. They both had websites, and I can't remember how I found them. I was 14, 15. I'd come home from school, I'd pour over the photographs and just long that one day I would have a layout. I mean, at the time I had an 8x4 circle effectively in the attic, and I'd done a little bit of scenery with like a grass mat, and that was about it. So I was getting really inspired by those, and I longed for doing something like that one day. Then YouTube came along, and we started to get Everard Junction put some videos up on YouTube. Stroley International did the same, and then you started to get other model railway YouTubers. Intercity 82 was another big one with all these reviews of the models and stuff. And then, of course, when I started the layout, you had layouts like Dean Park Station. And again, Stroley was still going. And then you had Glebe Road Junction. They were all a major source of inspiration to influence certain things that I did on the layout or ideas that I had. But most of my inspiration before the internet really took off was from catalogues and magazines. I would pour over the Hornby catalogues. You got those beautiful pictures of steam locomotives or the diesels at the beginning of like the diesel locomotive section. There would be a beautiful picture of a railway with all the Hornby products all sitting there with the lights on, or a little bit of smoke out of the smokestacks, and it was just, I would stare at those pictures for hours and just long, one day I want to make something like that. You know, if I could get close to that, I'd be made up. And then
so what's happening? Pull your finger out.
And then the situation one day presented itself where I had an attic with a load of room in it. I had some scrap material at the bottom of the garden. I was 17, 18.
Yeah.
So I was doing my A-levels. I'd come home and I'd just crack on and just whatever I had to hand, I'd start building the original layout, which is why it fell to pieces. Because it
was a sad end.
Because it was built out of stuff that you shouldn't build a layout out of. But, you know, that was a long time ago and I'd never even started
We
YouTube.
all make rookie mistakes.
And we all make mistakes. I mean, the amount of stuff I learnt on the layout that no one ever saw influenced Everard Junction Mark 1. And then the demise of Everard Junction Mark 1 influenced all sorts of stuff on the second one. Yeah. And I'll make my fair share of errors and mistakes on this one. I don't think we'll ever be perfect. And that's what the hobby's about. It's about learning and improving. Well, there's plenty of stuff I've cut out of videos. The amount of stuff that's derailed. Or
I think I'd stop uploading if I...
You stop uploading. But yeah, that's so my major source of inspiration. In the early days, it was all in print, and now today it's much more online. It's just watching videos on YouTube, looking at stuff on RM Web.
New generation just log into YouTube,
yeah,
don't they?
Pretty much, yeah. That's what they do. They log into YouTube, or they go on RM Web, or they go on Facebook, or whatever it might be. I mean, some of the layouts that guys are building on RM Web is just amazing. You've got one particular one that springs to mind is Waverley West, which is an absolutely beautiful depiction of the Scottish region, and beautiful rolling stock and everything. And I look at that and I go, he's so much better than me. But we all have our strengths and weaknesses. That's what makes the hobby as interesting as it is. Everyone
well, if we're all perfect, it'd be boring.
It would be boring, because we'd all build the same stuff.
Yeah.
It'd all be boring.
I'm conscious of your time.
That's not a problem.
Thank you very much for talking to me, Richard.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, a pleasure to meet you, to be fair to you, after all this time. But it's weird you being here while listening to your voice.
The voice has a face and it's come onto camera. There's so many people even talking to people today, they're like, I recognised you when I walked past because you were talking. And I'm like, oh, I suppose you would, because when you're modelling, you don't really need to show your face. It's not you don't want to, it's just you don't need to.
So the amount of little people I've said, and you've got Everard in the group, and it's I was one of them. But no, thank you very much for your time.
Not a
pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Now
I'm going to go and spend a load of money.